Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, and I'm joined today by two very special guests. I'm joined by the new CEO of Dirty Boxing Championships, Malki Kawa, and one of the founders of Dirty Boxing Championship, Platinum Mike Perry. Gentlemen, good to catch up with you both. How are things?
I can't complain. I can't complain. I'm like Mike, ready to go.
Well, Malki, it's the first time that we've ever had the privilege of speaking. Mike, I know that we've caught up a couple of occasions before, but Malki wants to get into this big announcement, you moving into a CEO role with Dirty Boxing Championships. First of all, give us a little bit of a talk through of the announcement from your side and why you were so keen to join this project.
Well, I'm one of the founders of the project also as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So it was Mike, myself, and our partners, and we got together after the first inaugural, like I don't want to say inaugural, the test event. And when we tested the first show out, we figured out we have something here, and we just started looking at leadership and how this was going to go. And the guys said, "Hey, we want you to take it." So I said, "Okay, let's do it." And that was kind of what we're doing, if that makes sense.
What do you feel like is key for getting a new promotion off the ground? Do you feel like you have to do some things differently to what the other promotions are doing, to do some things similar to what the other promotions are doing? What do you feel like are the keys for getting a
I
new
mean,
fighting organization?
what's funny is that everybody thinks they have to do this wild stuff. Like you look in overseas, you look at the Russians, they'll do a 3-on-3. You look at certain places in Poland, right, and they'll get like two, three, four girls against two big guys, and what I mean. Some places just do like this wild stuff to get the attraction. But the reality of it is, if you look at the UFC and the model that they've built, I think that if you do something different but have the formula right, you should be okay. And that's the thing. So I understand kind of what that formula looks like, although I'm probably not going to follow it in the first one just because I want it to be a bang. You know what I mean? And I'm putting a lot of stuff into it that they probably wouldn't do. But it fits for what we're doing at Dirty Boxing for this first one. So I think it's a combination of a couple of things. You just have to put on fights that people will care about, and if you can do that, you're going to win.
And would it be fair to say that Dirty Boxing Championship is a boxing promotion in the MMA world? Would you agree with that assessment?
What do you think, Mike? Is it a boxing promotion in the MMA world? I don't know if that's accurate. What would you say?
I think it's like a street fight with no delays. You're getting fast action all the time and
Hmm.
big hits with little gloves.
I mean, Mike, let me say it to you like this. So we sat in a room, right? Mike, myself, casual fans, hardcore fans of the sport, right? And you had all types of guys in the room. And just we went down the list. What do you like about this? What don't you like about this? What do you love about, boxing? What don't you like about boxing? What do you like about kickboxing? What don't you like about kickboxing? What do you like, what I mean? And just kind of went through
Mm.
that whole exercise. As we did that, we started to figure out we were kind of all aligned on as much as we love mixed martial arts, there's an aspect of it that we can't stand as fans of the sports, right? And that's not any particular art or martial art that's involved. It's more of the way the fights go, right? No one wants to see a wrestler sit on top of a striker
Mm.
for 2 minutes out of a 5 minute round. No one wants that at all, right? There's no passing of the guard. There's no real, attempts to submit. And so we just sat down and looked at it and said, all right, let's just remove that and let's just go from there. And so what we came up with was a very exciting, fast paced boxing promotion. So it's I wouldn't call it boxing in an MMA world. It's more like it's a derivative of boxing that contains aspects of MMA, if that makes sense.
You've both been around the fight game for so long in various formats. What's the one thing that fight fans are looking for in your mind? Malky, I'll go to you first.
I mean, I think everybody's looking for that KO. I think you want to
Mm.
listen. Let's look at the Tank fight that just passed, right? Okay, he fought a guy. His last name is Roach. No one ever heard of him before, right? Hell of a fighter. I became a fan, right? But what part of that fight made you a fan? If you became a fan, it was I think from around 6 through 12 when it became they were both punching, they were both going at each other's head, and it wasn't a sparring match. And that was one of the things. Mike, remember we sat in the room and what do we hate about boxing? There was like that whole jab, 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 punch, and then circle, 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 jab, 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 and there was no action. And the first 5, 6 rounds of that fight was like that. So I think that fans want excitement. Fans don't have time. We don't have time. So I want something that I can look at, I can like, I can enjoy it, and I can just get to it. And I think that's what we bring to the table is we bring in excitement. Small gloves, big dudes, right? They're striking. There's 3 minutes in a round. You don't have it. You don't know where to run. You can't just circle the whole time. You can't take a knee like Gervonta did, right? And then pretend that, that didn't count as a knockdown. In our league, if that happens, the guy still can attack you. He can still come and strike. It's just a lot of differences. And I think that's what we're trying to give people is a rule set that just continues the pace of the action. That's where we're at with it.
And Mike, from your perspective, what do you feel like the keys that the fight fans are looking for when they look for a new promotion or for someone who's doing something a little bit differently?
Action, a celebration, a party, something we can all enjoy together, something that gets you out of your seats and makes you yell out loud uncontrollably. And I think another part of it obviously is the stars themselves, the men and women who get in the ring and they fight and they compete and they talk to their fans. That is something that we want to build upon with some of the crew we've already had tested and some of the new crew coming in to perform at our new event at DBX 1 coming soon.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What can you share about your upcoming event?
March 22nd, the Hangar in Coconut Grove near Miami. It's pretty close. And we're going to have DBX 1 at the Hangar in Coconut Grove. It's going to be an amazing show. We're going to have private tables. We're going to have lots of celebrities coming out. Just to name drop, the great John Jones will be there. And we're working on some other names. Maybe Njoku will show up. And I think we're going to have some other ones as well. You got to come out to see.
Quite a far trip for me, Mike, all the way from Liverpool, England. But I'm sure Inside Fighting will look to send a reporter or two down to your event if the invite is extended.
Well, we will be streaming this one. This one will be viewed live.
Hold on, Mike. You're more than welcome to come, Mike. We would love for any reporter and anybody that wants to come cover the event. You guys are more than welcome. We have an A1 set up for you guys. You know what I'm saying? The high-speed Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, in general, we are taking care of all the guys that come to this event. And Coconut Grove, Mike, is in Miami. So it's Miami. We're like, March 22nd, Coconut Grove. It's a part of Miami. It's a beautiful part of Miami. And the location, the hangar is absolutely bananas. And I think one thing that me and Mike can both agree on, we hired a high-level producer who's produced a lot of things for the UFC, Slap, different fights and stuff like that around the world for promotions that you guys can would recognize. And he's the producer of the show. And I'm excited to give you guys this new, this new style of like fight experience. So if I'm you, I'd get on a plane, come to Miami, and come check us out March 22nd.
I will do my best, Malki, rest assured. What can you tell us about some of the potential talent who we could see on this card?
Oof, Mike, you want to tell them a little bit? Because no one's going to listen. Let me say it to you like this. If I could replicate 20 Mike Perrys and put them to fight each other, I'd have the greatest promotion in the world, right? And so when we look at talent, you know what I mean? We're looking for guys like Mike. We're looking for guys that are going to come and bang. You know what I mean? And I promise you, the men and women on this fight card are coming to do that. And so I think we put together a really, really nasty card of like awesome people. But Mike, you tell them, who's your favorite fighter on this card? Like, what's the guy that you think, you know what I mean, is gonna do his thing?
My favorite would have to be mi hermano, Yoel Romero.
Diddy Boxing. He has his own style of Diddy Boxing.
We're bringing it back because he's that great. He's so amazing and he's so great to work with. Yep. And there's lots of great fighters on the card. Actually, Malki, do you want to let us know if we figured out if that main event was going through?
Well, let's leave it alone. Let's chill. We got press releases and all types of stuff going down. You know what I mean? I Mike, we love you, dog, but I can't give you everything right now on this one podcast. You got me?
100%. Mike, I want to turn the conversation a little bit to you because we haven't seen you since your last fight against Jake Paul, which was obviously arguably the highest, or if not one of the most high-profile fights of your career. You're moving into this position with Dirty Boxing. I want to know what's your role with the promotion, and have your priorities or your focus changed maybe from fighter over to promoter, or any priorities changed for you in your world?
I'm a man of many trades. I think I'm I'm good at a lot, but I am great at fighting. And I am eager to get back in the ring and compete again. Looking to put, these knuckles on someone, whether it's bare or whether they're covered with a glove. I would love to get in the dirty boxing ring and fight in this style. It just has to make sense. The name that I'm up against, and that's just kind of the story we're at right now with my fighting across the board. No matter who or where, it has to make sense for all companies involved. And you know, I'm working diligently on all these projects. And, as far as like what it is, my role is in dirty boxing, it's a bit of everything. I have to be on those owner calls, and I'm learning a lot and hearing about what goes all into the production, what publicists do for us, and how we connect with all the stars that will come to the event, and how we make sure we take the best care of everyone involved in helping us grow dirty boxing. And that is our goal. Eventually, the fight game is all about entertainment. Being one of the number one entertainers in the world, whether that be my fighting style, which people love to watch because I bring it and I don't back up, and or promoting an event of fighters and fighting styles that brings you action all the time, to a tequila that everyone will celebrate with together and we can have a good time, uh, responsibly, of course. And, even on to the podcast world, the media side of fighting. Um, I've always done well with you guys. We've had some ups and downs with some MMA medias in the past, and we've grown and together and past that. And, I am one who loves to speak with the next generation of fighters and learn about what they're doing differently than what we did in our day. Because the old days will always say, we were doing it better than the next generation. The next generation will always try to say that they think they're better than the last generation. So, I look forward to fighting someone soon, and whichever generation they're from, and putting on some entertainment for all the fans who want to be excited.
Well, firstly, you may have had ups and downs with MMA media, but me and you have never had ups and downs, mate. We've always had a great
Right.
relationship, and I've always been very grateful for your time. One thing I did want to ask for those who are coming to Dirty Boxing for the first time through watching this interview, Mike, can you just talk me a little bit through the rule set and what makes Dirty Boxing unique from the rest?
Imagine, we'll use it again. I watched the Gervonta versus Roach fight. And Gervonta was a little bit out of his normal headspace as far as clarity goes in the fight. I mean, he was kind of goofing around, if you ask me. And this is a no nonsense style of fighting, because if you can be protected in your guard, the guy can throw an elbow right through the guard. It's boxing with elbows, and if he knocks you down, there's no standing 8 count. He's going to finish the fight and ground and pound you unless you fight your way back up to your feet. It's no nonsense, all action with small gloves. We got big, tough, strong people banging it out in the center of the ring. And I love the whole aspect look of our style of fighting. It's the original style of fighting. Like what's that movie? Django, when they were doing the bare knuckle fights.
Mm.
It's like old school fighting, and we gave the guys some protection, because a lot of fighters don't want to make that transfer. They think their faces are too pretty. They don't want to get hit without the gloves. So we gave them a little protection to protect their fists and protect their faces. And all we see is action at dirty boxing.
I love
Well,
it.
Mike, let me give you a little bit. So basically, everything you're allowed to do in the UFC, from the waist up, spinning back fist, elbows, hammer fist, Superman punches, things of that nature that are not allowed in boxing are allowed here. We're allowed to grab the head, you're allowed to uppercut, you're allowed to clinch,
Right.
per se. But the action has to keep going. Now, one of the biggest differences is if you do hit somebody with an elbow and they hit the ground, you're allowed to follow them to the ground and then finish the fight. So technically, you have another 8 seconds to get, what I'm saying, to
Mm.
finish the fight.
Yeah.
So there is no, here's the count, and you got to get up on your feet. It's you're gonna get down, and the referee's gonna have, a decision to make on whether or not, you're have the ability to finish
Mm.
the fight or not. So if you go down there and you throw a punch or two, and the guy's sitting there, or he's trying to get back up, and he gets up, then they're gonna stand them up and let him fight. But there is no saved by the bell. There's none of that type of stuff. It's 100%, like it's as real as a fight is gonna get without kicks and knees
Yeah.
and anything from the below the waist and no grappling. That's the best way to
Yeah.
kind of describe it to you.
Couple more questions from me, gents, and thank you so much for your time. Malki, this one's for you. If you've had major success in your career growing businesses, I mean, if you can grow Dirty Boxing to the way in which you've grown First Round Management, I think that the promotion will be in very good hands. What are your goals? Or maybe Mike, this is a question for you as well. But what are both of your goals for the rest of this calendar year? Where would you like DBX to be come the end of 2025?
Good question. I think that at the end of 2025, I want, DBX to be considered one of the hottest promotions on the planet. You know what I mean? I want it to be a promotion that fighters love to fight for, where they feel like they've been taken care of. Number one. Number two, I think that as a business, we want to be healthy, right? That's some of the goals that you would always, obviously have as a business. I want to be able to, like, have the other boxing promoters look at it and say, damn, they revolutionized boxing. You know what I mean? Should we change our rules to kind of, make it more exciting, right? Things of that nature. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. If we can just get guys, in here and have them put on some great shows and something exciting, I think people will get behind it because it's not bare knuckle. So it's not as gruesome as bare knuckle in the sense of, like, you're sitting here watching people with, cuts that are the size that, it's a little bit more safer from that perspective. But the reality of it is that it's just as exciting, to watch a real fight. So for me, I want to, when 2025 ends, I want to look back at 2025 and say, we really created this. We really did this, right? Now it's time to take the show really on the road. Now it's time to get out of Florida and go figure out where we're going. If I can do that, going into 2026, then I think we've done a great job.
Anything to add, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Malki gave great response there when he was talking about the health. You know, it just made me think of learning more about putting all these plans together and the organization of the organization,
Mm.
organizing what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, and be able to drop it and have people just clamoring for more. I just want to bring excitement to people and let them enjoy something that we've created.
I love it.
Mike, by the end of 2025, Mike, one more thing. I'd like to see Mike Perry fight in his own promotion. That's another thing. I think that's a goal of mine. Is like, let him do his thing. He's got a big fight coming in BKFC, and then once he's done with that one, maybe we get him in a big fight in Dirty Boxing. And so if we can do that, that would be, I think that would greatly make it a wonderful year.
If
That's
Mike
easy
Pe-
for me. I'm always ready. I'm always ready to go, man. I'm in the gym every week, putting in
100%.
work, and just waiting around lately because I guess I've earned it.
if Mike Perry fights in Dirty Boxing this year, then rest assured I'll make this trip over to the States and be there live, 100%.
I don't blame you. A big
last
name.
last question from me, and I will leave you. But with this might be the most difficult question I asked you this afternoon. If you could pick one fighter to fight for DBX this year, who would it be and why? Malky, I'll go with you first.
Like any fighter, no matter what.
Any fighter. Who do you think suits the roster? Who do you think suits the skill set?
Oh, dude, listen, let me tell you something. If I could pick one fighter to fight in DBX this year, I got the perfect guy, Mike, right? So it would be Conor McGregor because then he could finally fight Mike, and that would be the greatest thing that you could ever do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Let Mike Perry get in there and beat Conor McGregor's ass. That'd probably be the greatest thing. So if I had the choice of one guy that I'd be Conor McGregor, only to give Mike the fight that Mike's wanted
That's a
for a
good
long
one.
time. You know what I mean?
That's a good one. I like that one. I was thinking a little differently. That is a
Mhm.
good one. I like that one, but I don't see that guy coming to fight. I don't think that guy wants to fight. I think he just wants to talk. But someone who already said that they would wouldn't mind fighting in dirty boxing. Mr. Jake Paul, I would like to get back in there with him and punch on him with the small gloves and see, let's have us a fight in dirty boxing.
I love it.
I'm gonna be. Yep. No, I'm with them. I mean, listen, either one of them are great ones. But yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, I kind of figured the Jake Paul fight will happen sooner or later, Mike. It's got to. You know what I'm saying? Like, another one, right? Like a rematch in the thing. We talk about it. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Either. Listen, how about this one, Mike?
They
You flip
wouldn't
a
let me
coin.
get dirty with them, bro. And
I
every
know.
time I grabbed them up and in dirty boxing us, I'm in there
Yeah.
with them, man.
So look, Mike, this is the thing. You flip a coin. Heads, it's
Mm.
Jake. Tails, it's Connor. We can't go wrong with either one of them. Get where I'm coming from? So
100%.
Sure.
Well, I think that's the best place for us to end. Malki, Mike, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to promote this event. We look forward to attending the event in person and wish you the continued success with this year.
all right.
Mike, I'll give you the final word just to give it any further promotion to the event that you'd like to.
From me and Platinum Tequila and Dirty Boxing, cheers, mate. We're
Cheers,
ready to
mate.
put on a good show for you. Stay tuned to Dirty Boxing. Follow us on Overdogs Podcast and on Dirty Boxing to keep up with the events. And we'll be coming soon.